History does repeat itself, and what we're finding now is that the Minecraft roleplay storytelling is really popping off. 10 months ago, actually more than that, about a year ago, Evbo created the Minecraft parkour civilization thing that everybody's going on about now. It's amazing. Like it's a genuinely, I think, really good narrative. Both movies are certainly worth watching if you're open-minded enough to enjoy a Minecraft-based narrative, and if you're, into that kind of writing style. I think that it's really good. We've seen this before though. Okay, and most recently we saw this with the Dream SMP, right? That was the most recent example of something like this. Is um we had Tommy Innit, we had Lemanberg, we had all of this stuff with the lore of the Dream SMP. It started off in a very similar manner to the kind of grandfather of this style of Minecraft storytelling. What we had before Dream SMP and before Jaffa Factory was Shadow of Israfel, which, to my knowledge, is kind of the first of its kind, right? So, at that time, what Shadow of Israfel started as was it was just the Minecraft survival series that that Simon Honeydew and Lewis Brindley were doing for their, at the time, not Minecraft based channel. It was, I mean, it was kind of a variety channel. We had them playing Minecraft, and along the way they made up a story for it, right? They made up a story over, various things, and eventually that survival series turned full on scripted. Shadow of Israfel. The dialogue was not necessarily scripted front to back, but all of the events were more or less scripted in Shadow of Israfel. Well, that's interesting because we need to take a look at how that developed. Um, because if we look at, for example, the Dream SMP, right? That started off as a survival series, and then a narrative was kind of forced onto it by a particular member of the server who started doing the roleplay stuff. Um, that that isn't precisely how Shadow of Israfel first came about, but moreover, um, I think there's an important place in this for the Sunshine of Israpony story, because in Sunshine of Israpony, that was a start to finish scripted Minecraft series that had very little else to do with a Minecraft survival series. Which what we're observing here is Dream SMP started with a Minecraft survival server that Dream and his guys were playing on, and we had
What are you looking for? Guns? Trinkets?
and we had um what's it called? Shadow of Israfel even started with a survival series. Sunshine of Israpony was a Minecraft roleplay series that started without any of that. It was a spin-off of um it was a spin-off of an existing Minecraft series that came out of a survival series, but it didn't actually have a survival series associated with it. When I look at Parkour Civilization, okay, that's the same thing. There's no survival series. This didn't start off as something else. It was start to finish. It was Minecraft Parkour Civilization, and I don't think that everything about Minecraft Parkour Civilization was necessarily planned from the start. I think there are obviously at points some instances of contrived writing, but it's surprisingly little. And I think that if not everything was planned out from the start, um, with regards to Parkour Civilization, a great deal was. a great deal was considered from the start. I found the series really fascinating, really fun. I've gotten quite into it. I've even started watching PvP Civilization, which I expected to be much of the same. Like I was looking at PvP Civilization and expecting it to be Parkour Civilization again, but it's focused on a different mechanic this time, right? It's focused on the PvP. But then I watch PvP Civilization. It's a whole different story. It's not just like it's structured differently. The narrative beats are also different. Evbo is telling stories here, and he's doing it via the vehicle that is Minecraft. But Parkour Civilization isn't a story that could be told without Minecraft, because the mechanics of that world are so deeply ingrained in the mechanics of Minecraft, right? Like the whole way that Parkour Civilization is set up is kind of designed around the mechanics of Minecraft in a way that I think would be... Not only do I think it would be difficult to make this series without Minecraft as the basis, I don't think it would be as good. I think it benefits a lot from being a Minecraft series. I mean, first of all, because it's kind of understood that the viewers know what's happening from the Minecraft perspective. Because this series is aimed towards players of Minecraft, when he says 4-block jump, it is understood what that means. And I don't just mean it's understood that he's going to jump for a 4-block distance. The audience, being Minecraft players, are expected to know that a 4-block jump is difficult. That doesn't mean he doesn't say it. Obviously, there's a lot of exposition in Parkour Civilization. It's told from a weird kind of narrative perspective where the narrator is almost always talking about things that have happened rather than talking about things that are happening. We see the story as it happens, but whenever the narrator is speaking, whenever Evbo is speaking, he's usually saying a recap of events, which is interesting. The way that the story is told is very interesting. Parkour Civilization isn't like any other Minecraft series I've seen. I was a big fan of like Blackrock Chronicles and Jaffa Factory, Sipsco, stuff like that. I was hugely into that as a kid. It was really gripping to me because I started watching it for the Let's Play aspect, and I was into Duncan's Lab on the original Tekkit server and stuff like that. But I got into it for the story, and I followed Kim and Duncan, The Apprentice, Flux Buddies, stuff like that. I followed that partially because of the story. Obviously, I also liked the YouTubers and their personalities, but the story was a huge draw as to why I was following those series. But the narrative of those series pales in comparison to what Parkour Civilization has presented us with. Parkour Civilization is a narrative that is as interesting as it is challenging. It is as fascinating as it is thought-provoking. I really like Parkour Civilization. I like the character writing. I'm looking forward to seeing more adventures in Parkour Civilization. I hope it's not done. I hope that Parkour Civilization is something that we're going to see more of in the future. I don't want it immediately. I'm glad that we're exploring more things with PvP Civilization, but I mean, to talk about PvP Civilization without mentioning any direct spoilers, maybe it's just witty narrative meta writing. It seems like Evbo might be setting up a crossover between the two. Okay, there's a part in Parkour Civilization where he mentions, or there's a part in PvP Civilization where he does parkour and he mentions that it seems familiar, right? It seems like we're setting up for a kind of crossover here. Even if that never happens, I mean, he's keeping his options open, right? I mean, what fantastic writing. But I am looking forward to seeing more of what Evbo creates. I think now that this whole thing has popped off on Twitter and stuff, there's a lot of attention on Parkour Civilization that wasn't there. As early as 2 weeks ago, people were not paying as much attention. There weren't as many eyes on this series. I'm hoping that with that newfound attention, you know, that's turned into something productive. I hope that Evbo is going to take that and seriously consider you know, continuing these series. I hope that he gets to show off more of what his art has to contribute to the world, because to be honest, after the grand success that Parkour Civilization was, and the very promising start that PvP Civilization has, there's a lot of eyes on Evbo, and I think that everybody is looking forward to what he's going to do next. So, Parkour Civilization, it's great. A lot of people are enjoying it. You know, let's see more of that. I got this game, it's called like Deadlock or something. I don't really know much about it, or even what we're meant to be doing. This game has been going on for 11 minutes now, which is not really how long hero shooters typically take.
My eyes are set on them.
But I don't really know what the win or like loss con is. I think we're meant to just destroy all of these guys, but I don't know.
Sweet dreams.
I've like barely seen my team. I don't know. It's probably my fault for not like cooperating very well. I'm not super into the like hero shooter stuff. Right, so I need to activate its attack to get mine in. So I need to make sure that I'm like dodging and stuff.
Getting the drop on them.
That seems kind of hard,
The other way around.
particularly since my regen is not that good. If I sound like I'm being unreasonably into Parkour Civilization, that's because it is. It's become a very like vested interest of mine over the last week. This is an observed quality that I have pretty much the start of every semester. A new thing will pop up, or a couple new things will pop up. And I get very into the things that I like. So it's not at all unusual that my interest for Parkour Civilization has been taken to like a heightened degree. What I will say is, it's completely deserving of the hype. The fact that a lot of people are really into Parkour Civilization is entirely deserved, and I think that you know, it takes a bit of getting into, like with all the like isms of like the Vine booms and stuff, and the fact that it's a Minecraft Parkour Civilization, and he says the word parkour a lot, like a lot. I would not at all blame anyone for being skeptical. I can only ask that you give it some time, maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour. By that point, I think the narrative that's being shown off there really has shown off like a good idea of what the rest of the series is going to be. I'm not saying that the start of Parkour Civilization is necessarily a bad representative of what the rest is going to be like, but I think the story is told in a very unique way, and you do need to be quite open-minded to that kind of storytelling, because at the end of the day, it is like the format is slop content, but it's also so much more than that. I think like it's weird. Maybe this is like maybe this is what people were feeling about Skibidi Toilet when it was a thing. I never really got into Skibidi Toilet, but I know people were saying like, yo, it's got narrative, like it's actually a story and stuff. I can't speak on Skibidi Toilet to that degree. I just think Skibidi Toilet is kind of a funny meme. But if it is true that Skibidi Toilet had, you know, when that came out and people were very much into the narrative of that, maybe this is like that, my equivalent of that. Maybe I'm into Parkour Civilization the same way that people were into Skibidi Toilet back then in that day. To be honest, when Skibidi Toilet came out, I was very skeptical of it, but both of these have kind of been lumped under the same kind of thing, where it's like, oh, these are like, you know, they're brain rot, they're slop content. I think that although Parkour Civilization has been like posed as that, at least from the perspective of like, you know, the stuff that I've seen online, I think that it's really deserving of a lot more credit than that. And listen, if you're into Parkour Civilization, you understand what I'm saying. You do. To be honest, an awful lot of people have gotten into this series over the last few weeks. Maybe I'm preaching to a crowd who's already seen Parkour Civilization and they're already into it. I have not yet met anybody who has watched Parkour Civilization and then said, actually, no, this is dumb. People are getting into it. People are really getting into it. And I think, like, you do need to give it a shot. It is, like, a hard sell. But I think it's very, very worth it. And I really like it. That should be all the reason you need. As my followers and as my subscribers, all you should need is the fact that I'm giving it a glowing review. As you know, if somebody you likes a thing, that means that thing is good. And also you should get your opinions from what people on the internet are saying. It's a lot easier than having your own opinions. Also, I love the like community around Parkour Civilization. There's so much like fan art and comics and stuff of different moments from Parkour Civilization, and it's been really cool seeing people really get into that world and you know, creating like fan art for it and stuff. I mean, it's all over Twitter. Just look up Parkour Civilization on Twitter. It's the only thing that's actually there on my feed right now. I mean, genuinely, I have not had a feed so covered in a single fandom thing in so long. I mean, even when I was like hugely into the Baby Metal fandom, I saw other stuff on my page. I saw Smash Brothers and other stuff that I follow. It has been non-stop, genuinely non-stop Parkour Civilization for like a week now. And it's because people from all of those spaces, people that I follow from Baby Metal and people that I follow from Smash Brothers, they're all getting into it too. Parkour Civilization has spread like wildfire on Twitter, and it's been amazing. But there's still people I've met IRL who are not like aware of this. They don't know that the noobs of Parkour Civilization only get fed once per day. They can do the 1-block jump for the chicken or the 1-block vertical jump for the beef. But obviously, nobody goes for the beef. It's better just to be safe and go for the chicken. They don't know that. You know, there's people in my life who are unaware of that fact, and they need to be made aware. Frankly, this game is taking too long.